Fine. Hi, this is Ritik, your biology subject matter expert from MEMONEET. And in today's video, we will be concentrating on a major important topic, that is immunity. So what are immunities and what are the types of immunities and what all the things that comes under immunity? How our body, it is showing a kind of defense mechanism against pathogens or some other foreign particles, and how the entire immune system of our body is working. That is what we are gonna concentrate here. So we know that there is like innate immunity and acquired immunity. When I'm talking about an innate immunity, that actually non-specific defense mechanisms are present from our birth. Innate, the word innate itself says that innate, that means by birth, we have a certain immune system or a kind of barrier or a kind of protection against the pathogens or foreign body particles. So that is the non-specific defense mechanism or which is actually present from our birth. So what they normally do is they provides a barrier to prevent the entry of the foreign agents into the body. मतलब जो भी foreign agents, like whatever the pathogenic bacteria, or it could be any chemicals, right? So whatever that comes inside our body, they are not good for our body, right? So it might or it will actually harm our body. So in that way, they act as a barrier to prevent the entry of these foreign agents into the body. So we have different types of barrier here, say like physical barrier. So when I'm talking about physical barrier, they have told, or we know that physical barrier में क्या होता है, like skin and mucus is the primary physical barrier. So whatever you are seeing physically, right, they that physicalness is actually protecting from the entry of the pathogens. Say like the primary physical barrier is obviously our skin. So skin में क्या होता है, they acts as a primary barrier preventing the entry of microorganisms. So this is fine. This is clear. Next we have mucus. So kaha actually we are gonna see the mucus. So in our lungs, yeah, intestine, matlab gastrointestine, yeah, urogenital tract. Like in so वहाँ पर normally what you will see is the coat of the mucus. So mucus जो है sticky होता है, right? So the coat of the epithelium lining of the respiratory, gastrointestinal and urogenital tracts. So this mucus जो sticky होता है, और normally क्या करता है? They are gonna trap and block the microorganisms and prevent the entry of the microorganisms inside the body. So ये हुआ हमारा physical barrier. So later we have the physiological barrier. Physiological barrier में क्या होता है? We have stomach acid, then the saliva and tears आता है, ठीक है? So stomach मतलब जब भी हम कुछ खाना खाते हैं, like when we have a food and that gets inside the digestive system. So unknowingly food may also contain some pathogens. They may also contain some insects or some chemicals or bacteria, fungi, जो भी है. So what happens is, जब हम we inhale it, right? When we intake the food, sorry, not inhale. When we intake the food, indigest the food. So वहां पर normally क्या होता है? We have a stomach acid, like hydrochloric acid बताओ या stomach acid, right? So they normally जो pH ज्यादा होता है, and that is gonna destroy the microorganism. So in that way, it is gonna prevent the entry of the microorganism. This is first thing. And saliva में जो content है, that the salivary enzymes जो होता है, so that actually prevents the growth of the microorganism. And later on, tears, आंसू. So they normally protect our eyes by washing away the pathogens and inhibiting their growth. मतलब आंखों में भी कभी कभी मिट्टी चला जाता है, धूल चला जाता है. So what happens? They consist of the microorganisms. So immediately we start crying. Crying मतलब tears आने लगता है. So when tears are coming, that means it is washing away those all the contaminations from the eye. So during that washing away, even bacteria will also be washed away, or any pathogens, or any some substances. So they all will be washed away. Okay. Then we have the cellular barriers. So cellular barriers में क्या matlab inside our body there are certain cells. Okay, they also prevent or they destroy the pathogens like leukocytes. We have WBC cells ko, white blood cells ko we normally call it as the leukocytes. Then neutrophilic and monocytes, then natural killer cells. So ये सब क्या है, they actually comes under the WBC cell. Okay. So that is neutrophils, monocytes, and natural killer cells जो है, they come under the WBC cells. So their major thing is, say like this neutrophilics and monocyte cells, they engage in the phagocytosis to destroy the microbes. Phagocytosis मतलब जब कोई फॉरेन एजेंट्स या कोई माइक्रो ऑर्गेनिजम्स या पैथोजेंस जब दे इन्वेड इनसाइड आवर बॉडी, so these that is neutrophils and the monocytes, they actually identify it and उसके बाद उस सेल को टारगेट करके डिस्ट्रॉय कर देंगे. So in that way they are gonna destroy the microorganisms. Then we have the natural killer cells. So natural killer cells में क्या होता है? A type of a lymphocyte that kills. So it is a type of a lymphocytes that is gonna kill the infected or abnormal cells. जो भी cells are being infected और abnormal cells जो भी होता है उन्हें identify करके naturally they are gonna kill. So that's why they are called natural killer cells. Okay. And यहाँ पर you just need to know that as neutrophils and monocytes, they are gonna target and destroy the microorganisms. Natural killer cells जो है, they will be killing the infected or abnormal cells. इतना clear हुआ? Then we have the macrophages. So macrophages जो cells है, they are found in the tissues. So normally what they do is they will engulf and destroy the microorganisms. Say like अगर a microorganism like bacteria है, so the cell, this macrophage will engulf the cell and inside they will destroy this microbes. Clear? Then we have the cytokinic barrier. So यहाँ पर cytokinic barrier मतलब क्या है? So in cytokinic barrier we have interferons. Say like there are certain proteins which are secreted by the viral infected cells. Okay. So Q to protect nearby healthy cells from the viral infections. Okay. So this multi-layered defense mechanism ensures a quick and effective protection against a wide range of pathogens. So यहाँ पर क्या होता है? So viral infected cells से जो whatever the proteins उसी की तरह एक proteins बना के रख देता है. So that next time if they invade and they are gonna infect some healthy cells, तब immediately उसे identify करके they are going they will be protected by the other infected cells. So इसके लिए they are called as interferons. After the innate immunity we have what? Acquired immunity. So in acquired immunity we have pathogen specific immunity. So मतलब acquired immunity are always pathogen specific immunity. मतलब target based. यहाँ पर आप एक पैथोजन को टारगेट कर रहे हो. ओके. सो दैट डेवलप्ड आफ्टर एक्सपोजर टू अ स्पेसिफिक टारगेट. मतलब not immediately you won't get during your birth or immediately after your birth, but later on our immune system is going to develop a specific immunity response to that specific pathogen. So after during a time of your growth, okay, then it is characterized by what? Memory. मतलब मेमोरी बेस्ड है, ये पूरा का पूरा जो है ना मेमोरी बेस्ड है, बेस्ड ऑन आवर प्रीवियस वन, प्रीवियस अगर वो पैथोजन दे हैव इन्वेडेड एंड दे हैव शोड देयर एक्शन, then next time and now the body recovers and it has identified that this is the pathogen. Next time when that same pathogen invades, immediately based on the memory, our immune response is immunity is gonna respond to that specific pathogen. Clear for now? Fine. Next we have is immune response कैसे होता है, like how does immune response happens. So we have primary response and secondary response. So जब I'm talking about primary response, it occurs during the first encounter with the pathogen. जब नए like freshly when a pathogen enters, that time it is a primary first encounter. Low intensity, as a body has encountered the pathogen for a first time, so it will be unable to understand how need to be acted. मतलब अभी आपका competitor जो है, like you're in a class and you met a new person, so you don't know how the person is, so obviously you'll be confused, right? But after certain days you will understand how that person is, so next time when he comes and he talks to you, you know exactly what to respond. In the same way, first time pathogen आया मतलब the body doesn't know what type of response our body should produce against to that pathogen. But after next time, the second time the same pathogen has been encountered by the body, so now body has a previous memory and now it is gonna encounter that pathogen. So starting जब भी होता है it is low intensity में होता है. Second time, that is what I'm saying here. Okay, second time will be highly intense field due to the immune memory formed during the first encounter. That is what I told. Then we have as lymphocytes. So lymphocytes may we have B cells and T cells. Yeah, B lymphocytes and T lymphocytes. So यहाँ पर B cells जो है, it produce antibodies, proteins that neutralizes the pathogens. And यहाँ पर T cells जो है, they do not secrete antibodies. बट यहाँ पर क्या होता है, दे असिस्ट द बी सेल्स. ओके, यहाँ पर जो भी बी सेल्स है, दे असिस्ट इन एंटीबॉडी प्रोडक्शन. मतलब द मेजर रोल ऑफ बी सेल और बी lymphocytes is एंटीबॉडी प्रोडक्शन और अ काइंड ऑफ प्रोटीन प्रोडक्शन. एंड टी lymphocytes का जो मेजर रोल है यहाँ पर इज टू असिस्ट टू से द बी सेल टू प्रोड्यूस द एंटीबॉडीज इन रिक्वायर्ड अमाउंट. सो अभी एंटीबॉडीज तो बोल रहा है, लाइक देन व्हाट एग्जैक्टली दिस एंटीबॉडीज इज एंड उसका स्ट्रक्चर क्या होता है, दैट इज व्हाट वी विल स्टडी नाउ. ओके, so antibody structure you can see here in the figure also. So यहाँ पर four peptide chain होता है. So one is two heavy chain and two light chain. So you can see his we have light chain here. This is one and this is one. They are called as light chain. And जो भी आप यहाँ पर देख रहे हैं, they are two heavy long chain. So यहाँ पर जो भी आप देख रहे हो, right? So that is heavy chain. So we have two light chain, which is a shorter chain, and this entire thing that you are seeing is a heavy chain. Okay, so it is been denoted by H, that is heavy chain, and two light chain is been denoted by L. So the structure is represented as H2 and L2. मतलब दो heavy chain है एंड दो लाइट चेन है. सो इसका मेजर कैरेक्टर क्या है, इज specificity. That means it actually targets a particular pathogens and it is memory based, ensures faster and stronger response upon repeated exposure to the same pathogen. So यहाँ पर आप देख रहे हो we have antigen binding site here, दो जगह पे. So वहां पर क्या होता है, they go and bind to the specific pathogen and they are gonna cleave that pathogen cell wall. Okay, this adaptive immunity ensures long-term protection and plays a crucial role in vaccine production and recovery from the infection. So उसके अलावा we have other kinds of antibody also. So like IgA, IgM, IgE, and IgG. So what are they? Okay. So IgG, when I'm talking here, so you can see here, this is the IgG found in the mucosal area such as respiratory and digestive tract. IgM जो है first antibody produced during an infection. Then IgM जो है, so this is IgM. You can see the multiple, right? This disulfide bond you are seeing here and joining chains you are seeing here, structure are different. And this is IgM. IgM is the first antibody which is going to be produced during the infection. Then we have IgE जो है that involve in allergic reaction. And the last we have is IgG. So you got, so we have IgA first, which is found in what? Mucus area such as respiratory and digestive tract. Then we have IgM here, so which are the primary production during the infection. We have IgE actually involved in the allergic reaction. Then lastly we do have IgG. So यहाँ पर IgG में क्या होता है? Most abundant antibody in the blood and extracellular fluid, providing long-term immunity. So immunity में again we have immoral immune response, cell mediated immune response, organ transplant. So cell mediated immune response and organ transplantation and immune response. So immoral immune response may basically we will be concentrating on the, or they have been mediated by antibodies produced by B cells or B lymphocytes effective against the pathogen in the blood and extracellular space. Then we have cell mediated immune response, जहां पर that been mediated by T cells, that is T lymphocytes, and effective against intercellular pathogens such as virus and abnormal cells. उसके बाद वी हैव ऑर्गन ट्रांसप्लांटेशन. सी ऑर्गन ट्रांसप्लांटेशन में भी क्या होता है, लाइक वी हैव आवर ओन ऑर्गन्स and if I'm want to transplant some other organs like heart or kidney, whatever it is, of a other person to infected or who is unhealthy or who has a damage of certain organs, so it's not very easy क्योंकि हमारा भी जो organs मतलब जो हमारा immune system है हमारे organs को ही consider करता है. And when some other organs या other part will come and that is gonna infused in our body, मतलब हमारा immune system जो है body में will actually treat them as a foreign body itself. So first thing is we need to match them. Organ cannot be transplanted from just any donor due to potential graft rejection. That's what I told. Graft rejection मतलब ऐसे ही हम लोग किसी भी organ को transplant नहीं कर सकते. We need to match them, see them. Say like blood grouping में क्या होता है? If we are A positive or A negative, so obviously हमें भी A negative है blood group चाहिए, right? So अगर A positive है चलो उसे A negative दे देंगे, नहीं हो सकता. Same way in organ transplantation also. First we need to check whether that is gonna match or not. Then tissue matching, blood grouping, and compatibility, they all are very critical and very crucial. Then self versus non-self recognition. Matlab the immune system identifies the transplanted organ as non-self. That's what I told. So इससे क्या होता है? It is gonna triggering a cell-mediated immune response. उसके बाद we will see the graft rejection, which occurs when T lymphocytes attacks the transplanted tissue. Okay. Then we have the immunosuppressants like Post transplant, patient must take a medications to suppress the immune system to prevent what? Rejection. Uske samay we actually take up some medication so that we prevent the excess of our immune system on during the transplantation. Okay. Then we have active immunity and passive immunity. So active immunity matlab the immunity which is developed when the host produce the antibody in response to exposed to the allergy. Example, or microbes हो सकता है या proteins हो सकता है. Then what happens? It normally triggered by natural infection or either by the vaccination. Vaccination matlab injecting of inactive antigens or microorganisms. Then slow responding time matlab obviously it is gonna take slow time to generate full immune response to that specific one. Duration is long lasting, often lifelong due to the immune memory. So that is active. Coming to passive immune response, immunity achieved by the transferring ready-made antibodies directly to the host. Okay. So example, clostridium, मतलब जो mother's milk होता है, it contains what? IgA antibody to protect the newborn. Then the placental transfer, that is antibody passes from the mother to the filtered during the pregnancy. Then we have therapeutic antibodies, which is injected the antibodies from the immediate protection against the diseases. The response time immediate as antibody are already formed. Then duration is short-lived as transferred antibody are eventually they will get degraded. So next we have is vaccination and immunization. So this is very important. So how does it work? What is the principle? Everything. So vaccination normally kaisa work hota hai? Memory based. Okay. So memory property based on the immune system ability to remember pathogens through memory that is beta B and T cells. So uske efficiency it is gonna work. Then vaccination process is like a vaccine which may contains a weak pathogens or an inactive protein or inactive antigens and all. So they will be introduced into the body. So once they will be introduced into our body, the immune system is will be producing an antibody against that vaccine antigen. So uske baad our memory cells will recognize what type of pathogen it is, and during future exposure immediately या quickly उसके लिए जो भी antibody चाहिए उसे बना देगा. So enable a rapid and effective immune response. Then we have as examples for vaccine-based immunization. So one is hepatitis B. Then the another one is routing immunization against disease such as polio, measles, and hepatitis B. Then we have hepatitis B vaccine produced using recombinant DNA technology in the East. The next we have is passive immunization. So यहाँ पर जो होता है direct injection of the preformed antibodies to provide immunity protection. मतलब यहाँ पर एंटीजन नहीं rather antibody हम लोग इंजेक्ट कर देता है. Example is tetanus, then snake bite. Tetanus में performed antibodies are injected to neutralize the toxin. Snake bite में भी ऐसे ही है, like we inject the antibody of that particular strain, then to cancel up the antigen and protect the snake venom from the human beings. Then recombinant DNA technology का use या utilization क्या है vaccine production में? So enable the production of the antigen polypeptide of the pathogen in bacteria or yeast, large scale produced by vaccine, greater viability for immunization programs. Then examples is hepatitis B vaccine produced in yeast using the recombinant DNA technology. So this is all about what? Passive immunity. Uske baad we have allergies. What do you mean by allergies now? An exaggerated immune response to certain antigen in the environment. So the substrates triggering this response are actually called as allergy. Allergy could be the chemical or natural allergy. So examples में क्या है? Dust mites, then the pollen dust and the animal dander, they all comes under the allergies. So allergic reaction involves IgE antibody, as I have already discussed before, produced in the response to the allergies. Then the symptoms of the allergies like sneezing, then watering eye, and running nose, and difficulty in breathing. So they all comes under what? Allergy. So causes of symptoms may release of chemicals like histamine and the serotonin from mast cell triggers the allergic symptoms. So उसे diagnose कैसे करता है? So patients are exposed to small dose of possible allergies. Reactions are studied to different specific allergies. So treatment कैसे करता है फिर? Antihistamine, block histamine effect. Then adrenaline provides immediate relief. Then the steroid reduce inflammation and the symptoms. So lifestyle factors में living in overly protected environment has led to the lower immunity, then increased sensitivity to the allergy, high prevalence of allergies and asthma, especially among urban children. मतलब हम लोग ज्यादा केयर लेते हैं एंड वी आर ऑलवेज रिस्ट्रिक्टेड टू अ हाई प्रोटेक्ट वेरी क्लीन एनवायरनमेंट. तो सडनली हम कुछ जहाँ पर धूल मिट्टी ज्यादा है या पॉली वी हैव द पॉलिनेशन सेक्टर्स होते हैं वहां पर ज्यादा है. So वहां पर गए तो obviously we will feel allergic. So that is what they are trying to say. So the next slide is autoimmunity. What do you mean by autoimmunity? A condition where the immune response mistakenly attacks our own body cells during the and then it is gonna cause the damage is actually called as autoimmunity, and it is actually called as autoimmune diseases. So based on the immune system ability to differentiate with the self and non-self cells, so it all depends. मतलब अब अगर कभी कभी हमारा जो इम्यून सिस्टम है इट इज अनेबल टू डिटेक्ट आवर ओन सेल, सो उस टाइम क्या हो जाएगा? द इम्यून रिस्पॉन्स दे विल फेल टू शो द मैकेनिज्म्स लीडिंग टू द अटैक ऑन द सेल्फ cell. So what might be the causes for this autoimmunity? One is genetic factors हो सकते हैं या unknown reasons such as not fully understood the work has to be done. Examples may we have some arthritis, a common autoimmune diseases involved inflammation and damage to the joints. Then key points in immunology like ear vertebrates evolved memory-based immunity to distinguish foreign organisms from self-cell. Then immunity research primarily focus on understanding and managing this distance, like how it is happening and what it is happening and all. Impact jo aega is about if we understand the significant tissues and organ damage, impact the quality of life we can actually lead. So this is all about the immunity. And still kuch topics bacha hai and I will cover it in two videos. Okay. So if you are feeling any difficulties, again you can message me through the comment section. या फिर आप मुझे व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप में या टेलीग्राम चैनल में भी आप मुझे मैसेज कर सकते हो. So don't forget to like, subscribe and also share with your friends. Thank you.